Good evening and welcome to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We've got some Women's British Basketball League action for you today as the Manchester Giants are hosting the Sheffield Hatters. My name's Kaz Bullock and we are due to tip off in around 3.5 minutes time. Now the Giants sitting at 1 and 2 in the standings. They got their first win just before the international break against the Cardiff Met Archers, a huge 30-point win. And we saw the debut of new arrival Sydney Hunter, who went off in that game. 14 rebounds with 10 in the first half alone. And finished with 11 points and a couple of steals as well, shooting 71% from the field. She has been huge for the Giants in the game that she's played so far. And I know there's a lot of people very excited to see what she's going to do in the league this year. Also in that game against Cardiff, Idil Turk off the bench, shot 3 of 3 from behind the arc. She's shooting 40% for the season after a few years playing in Turkey, making her debut in the UK. And she is an absolute spark off the bench for the Giants in these last few games. Leading the way for the team is Lauren Thomas-Johnson after some time away, looking like she's never missed a beat, leading the team in points per game with 17.5. That's good for 8th in the league, and she's also joint first on the team in rebounding, 6 a game along with Hannah Shaw. She's also averaging career highs across the board in points per game, assists, field goal percentage, free throw percentage and 3-point percentage. So Lauren Thomas-Johnson, a player that Sheffield are definitely going to try and want to close down today because she has been on fire for the Giants so far this season. Now Sheffield, they are currently top of the table at 2-0. 2 huge wins against Durham and Nottingham earlier this season. They're averaging 97 points per game coming into this one, and they last played at the end of October against Durham, where Georgia Gale had a huge 24-point game, knocking down 6 threes. She's currently leading the team in points per game with 19.5. Now returning for the Hatters this season alongside Georgia Gale is Nicolette Fairley and Naomi Campbell. They've had a little bit of a readjustment to the roster with the retirement of Helen Naylor. A bit strange seeing a Sheffield team without the Naylor name out there. And Carly Murphy, who was with them last season, out in Luxembourg this year. And Hannah Shaw having made the move over to the Giants. So a few new faces for the Hatters in Carla Drenan from Australia, playing in NBL 1 this summer for the Gold Coast Rollers. And Madison Washington, she was playing out in Australia as well for the Maitland Mustangs and was teammates with the Giants' Sydney Hunter, where she was averaging 13.2 points per game, 7 rebounds and 2.9 assists. She's got a wealth of experience after having spent 4 years at Oregon State, coaching at the University of San Diego, having played in Puerto Rico as well as Australia. And she is going to be a player to watch on this Hatters squad. Look out for that matchup inside between Madison Washington and Hannah Shaw for the Giants. So teams coming out on court, starting for the Manchester Giants, it is Lauren Thomas-Johnson, Brooklynn McAlear, Georgia Anderson and Maya Pace, and Sydney Hunter. For the Hatters, it will be Carla Drenan, Nicolette Fairley, Georgia Gale, Emma Eichmeyer and Madison Washington. Manchester playing in green today and Sheffield in grey. And for the tip, it will be Washington and Hunter, former teammates from Maitland this summer, facing off against each other. Ball is up and we're underway. It's going to be Giants' first possession as Pace gets it over to Anderson. Anderson making a return this year after having a season out. And McAlear working against Fairley, kicks it out. Hunter thought about the 3, puts it up and nails it. Sydney Hunter with the first 3 points of the game for the Giants. And such a dangerous player is Sydney Hunter. She can get inside, she can hit that shot from behind the arc. And a great start to her for this game. Georgia Gale looks to answer and does! It's raining threes in Manchester. It's normally just raining. Georgia Gale, fresh off a GB campaign at the Eurobasket qualifiers last week during the international break. And she is a lights-out three-point shooter. So Manchester will need to get out to her. As I mentioned, 6 threes in the last game from Georgia Gale, as Fairley steals that away for the Hatters. It's picked off by Pace. She's got Anderson to her right. Pace going all the way, drives the lane, gets the basket and the foul. Maya Pace heading to the free throw line. And that is foul number 1 on Nicolette Fairley for the Hatters. And that sends Pace to the line. She's shooting just under 89% from the stripe this season. And hits. So a 3-point Giants lead here early on. Fairley hands it off to Gale. Round to Drenan. Gale gets it back, pulls up for the long 2 and knocks it down. Anderson setting things up for the Giants. Pace into Thomas Johnson. Thomas Johnson driving against Gale, spins, hangs, can't get it to fall. And we've got a foul call as Drenan hits the deck as she tries to save the ball. That's going to be first foul on Lauren Thomas Johnson for the Giants. Both teams on 1 team foul apiece. As Fairley hands it off to Gale. Over to Drenan. Back to Gale. Pulls up and can't get that one to drop. Hunter now for the Giants. Over to McAlear Fanis. Pace, nice pass inside to Hunter. Comes up against Gale, who blocks it. And it's Fairley inside to Washington. Washington backing down Hunter. She's got a bit of a height advantage there. Can't get the shot to fall, and it's Anderson that comes away with the rebound. As McAlear Fanis kicks it out. Thomas Johnson with a high arcing 3. Doesn't go. And Nicolette Fairley with the rebound. And Nicolette Fairley, if you've not seen her before, one of the smaller players on the court, but she is such a tough rebounding guard. She gets high up in the air and pulls down those boards. Gale with another 3. Doesn't drop. One-point Giants lead here in the first quarter. Hunter calling for the screen. Hands it off to Anderson. Round to McAlear Fanis. Kicks it into the corner. Anderson for 3. Just rolls out. Rebounds chased down, and it's going to be last touch Hatters. So it's back with the Giants. McAlear Fanis, they're doing a great job chasing down the ball. Just hustling for the rebound. As Washington picks off the pass. Gets it back over to Gale, who's going to run the offense. Georgia Gale steps through inside, finds a way, weaves through traffic and can't get the layup to fall. That was a good look from Gale. Pace at the other end, hands off to Hunter on the baseline with the floater and drops it in. Sydney Hunter off to a great start so far, 5 points for her. Gale finds a way inside. That's the second time she's done that, 2 possessions running. Georgia Gale just making her way inside. The Giants looking to answer here. Anderson. Swings it round to Pace. 3, doesn't drop in. And we get a foul underneath the basket. And that is going to be on Drenan. That's her first, second team foul on the Hatters. As we see Leah McDermott checking into the game for the first time for Manchester. Georgia Anderson going to head to the bench. McAlear Fannis with the inbound, looking to get it in. And that's an offensive foul call on the Giants. So the Hatters will get the ball back. That's on pace. Fairley to Dranan. Oh, nice pass inside to Eichmeyer, who just lays it in off the glass. Knocked out of bounds, going to stay with Sheffield. We've got a substitution for Sheffield. Melita Emmanuel Kerr checking in alongside Desiree Ramos and Shauna Harrison. McAlear Fannis hands it off to McDermott. Going against Harrison. Thomas Johnson driving inside, spins, turns, hangs, banks it in off the glass. Giants back ahead by 1. Emmanuel Carr swings it round. Ramos, oh nice, behind the back and pulls up but can't finish. Ball's out of bounds, it's going to go back with the Giants. Hunter to McDermott. McDermott with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Swings it round to McAlear Fannis. Working against Ramos, pulls up. Too short off the glass. Sheffield with a chance to go ahead here. It's Gale. Kicks it down. Shot's no good. McAlear Fannis drives out to McDermott. That three's just short. And Hannah Shaw will check in for Lauren Thomas-Johnson, who heads to the bench. Ramos to Eichmeyer, it's nearly stolen away by Pace. Pace has been so difficult in those passing lanes, able to read the play. She's come up with so many steals so far this season. Emmanuel Carr alone at the top of the key, 3 doesn't go, and it's Shaw with the rebound. Over to Hunter. Hunter going all the way to the basket. She's stripped by Gale. Eichmeyer's up ahead, going against McDermott. Doesn't drop, and some good defense there from Leah McDermott, putting the pressure on Eichmeyer on the shot, just enough to put her off. That foul is on Emma Eichmeyer, and that's her first. So Hatters on 3 team fouls with over 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. McDermott going against Emmanuel Carr. Shaw swings it round. McDermott with the long 2. That doesn't fall in, it's Ramos with the rebound, tips it to herself and gets it over to Gale. Emmanuel Carr round to Ramos, nice pass inside. Harrison gets it back out, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Sheffield need to get something up here. Emmanuel Carr driving. And that'll be a foul on Shaw. That's her first. So Sydney Hunter checking out, and Aidil Turk into the game for the first time. And as I mentioned before, Aidil Turk has been an absolute spark off the bench for the Giants so far this season. You want to keep an eye on her, especially from 3-point range. She can knock it down when she wants to. So Gale will inbound. Ramos against Turk, steps back. Nothing but net. McAlear Fanis, pace inside with the jumper, can't get that to fall. And it's Washington with the rebound. And Maddie Washington averaging 9.5 rebounds so far this season as Gale pulls up for three and knocks it down. That's what she does, that's what Georgia Gale does. Check out some of the videos of the Sheffield Hatters practice. She's knocking down threes all day long. As Hannah Shaw draws the foul on that possession. So Carla Duran back in. Georgia Gale going to head to the bench. And Gale with 10 points so far in the game. Hitting 2 threes. So Hannah Shaw at the line for the Giants. Spent the last 2 seasons with the Sheffield Hatters and made the move back over to Manchester as she hits the first. And hits the second, 2 of 2 from the line. And that gets Shaw onto the board. 2-point Hatters lead. Harrison, nice pass into Ramos inside, working against Turk, stepping through. And that's going to be a foul on the floor. That's on Turk, her first. So it's going to be end-line ball, Sheffield, 14 on the shot clock. Got 2 minutes to play here in the first. Junan looks to get it inside. Emmanuel Carr driving against pace, puts it up high off the glass. Doesn't go, it's Shaw with the rebound. And that's a foul on Emmanuel Carr. Substitution. So that last foul will send Hannah Shaw to the line as Sheffield on 5 team fouls for the quarter. And first one is good. Hannah Shaw, having played across Europe, played in Spain, played in Italy, out in Australia as well, and was part of that Commonwealth Games silver medal winning team back in 2018 as she goes 2 of 2 from the line. It takes a total to 4. Tie game at 14 here in the first half. Junan going against Anderson. Washington, she's got space inside, drops it in with the left hand. And Sheffield back ahead by 2. Shaw hands it off to Turk. McDermott round to Anderson. Into Pace. Pace working against Ramos and Washington. Shot just spins out. And Anderson steals it away. Shaw's calling for it inside. Into Pace. And it's picked off. Ramos. Nice handoff to Emmanuel Carr, who just puts it in underneath the hoop. What a pass from Ramos there. Pace, into Anderson. Anderson working against Ramos, trying to get inside. And draws the foul. So Georgia Anderson headed to the line. That is the first on Ramos. And Georgia Anderson, absolute legend in the British game. Again, part of that 2018 Commonwealth Games silver medal winning team. Played with the Manchester Mystics. Playing in her ninth season in the WBBL. She's the Mystics' all-time leading scorer, all-time assist leader, all-time steal leader. As she hits a second from the line. Warren Thomas-Johnson checking in for Manchester as Turk heads to the bench. 3-point game. Ramos over to Harrison. Driving inside against Thomas Johnson. Draws the foul. Count the basket as well. Shauna Harrison with a tough move to the hoop. So that's the second foul on Thomas Johnson. And Harrison at the line for the chance at a 3-point play. Shauna Harrison playing in her first season in the Women's British Basketball League. Spent some time at Cal U. And been with the England under-16, under-18 squads previously. Great to see her back in the UK and playing for the Hatters. Pace looking for some help. Over to Shaw on the baseline. Jumper's short. It's Washington with the rebound. Over to Ramos, 6 seconds on the clock. 4 seconds to go. Ramos behind the back, stops, pulls up for three. That's too short. And at the end of the first quarter, it is Sheffield 21 to the Giants 15. Sheffield have been led by 10 points from Georgia Gale. And for the Giants, it is Sydney Hunter on 5. Gale hitting two of three from behind the arc so far. As I mentioned before, she had 6 threes in that last game against Durham. Manchester will need to try and close her down. She's got off to a hot start already. 10 points in just 7.5 minutes so far. So the Giants will next be playing away in Durham next Saturday 25th. You can catch them at home against Oakland on December the 2nd. That game will be at 2 o'clock at the Platt Lane Sports Complex. So make sure to head down and support the team. If you're a Manchester Giants men's season ticket holder, you can get in for free with your season ticket. If not, get your tickets online and support the team. Sheffield are away next Sunday, the 26th. At their new home, they're at home on Sunday the 26th at their new home, the Cannon Medical Arena. It's a fantastic new venue for them and great to see teams being able to play out of their own venues. If you've not been to see it yet, I urge you to get down and watch. It's a great venue and a great team to support. We're back on court here, getting ready for the second quarter. The Hatters have a 6-point lead going into the second.
Second quarter. Action about to get away from the Hatters by 6.
So back out on court. And it will be Hatters' ball to start things off.
Hatters to get us back on the way through with a 0-1
Junan into Fairley. Fairley having spent some time playing for the Manchester Mystics as well a few years ago as Emmanuel Carr pulls up. Can't get that to fall, but Fairley grabs the rebound. Kicks it back out to Carr. Eichmeyer inside to Washington, backing down Hunter, turns, works away inside and drops it in. And that's why Madison Washington is such a difficult matchup. Shaw behind the arc, round to Hunter. Hunter working against Eichmeyer, turns, spins, puts it off the glass and in! Sydney Hunter with a tough bucket, and it's going to send her to the free throw line. I'm not sure how that one went in. And Sydney Hunter playing in just her second game for the Giants so far this season. Played out in Turkey, as I mentioned earlier as well, playing for the Maitland Mustangs in Australia this summer. where she averaged a double-double, 14.3 points per game, 10.8 rebounds and 2.3 assists. Oh, they've waved. Oh, the refs have discussed that. They've waved the basket off and called it an offensive foul. And they've called the foul on Thomas Johnson, which puts her on 3 early on. And Hunter was ready at the line. So 8-point Hatters lead here, and they get the ball back. Fairley. McAlear Fannis swarming to get the ball, forces a travel call, and the Giants will get the ball back. And Thomas Johnson is going to have to check out here, and McDermott coming back in. And with Thomas Johnson on 3 fouls early, that's a blow for the Giants. As I mentioned, she's leading the team in points per game, 17.5 points per game. We might not see her now till the second half. McDermott to Anderson. Anderson looking to pass off. McAlear Fannis going against Fairley. Nice no-look pass out to McDermott for 3. It bounces off. Eichmeyer behind the arc, steps through, pulls up, long 2 is good. Eichmeyer averaging 15.5 points per game so far this season. She's been big for the Hatters in their few games so far. 10-point Sheffield lead. Shaw over to McAlear Fannis. Pass inside. Hunter underneath the basket, tries to get her own rebound. It's McAlear Fannis that comes up with it, turns, shoots and hits. And again, that's Brooklyn McAlear Fannis chasing down the ball, fighting for each rebound and just hustling on each play. And we've got a timeout called. Well, the Sheffield Hatters have an 8-point lead here in the second quarter. Leading all scorers is Georgia Gale with 10 points. And Sydney Hunter with 5 points for the Giants. And Nicolette Fairley currently leading all rebounders with 3 points. She is a tough rebounding guard. She's so bouncy and she's going to get up there and grab those rebounds. We've got 8 minutes left here in the second quarter. Teams coming back out on court. Sheffield just discussing as they're coming back out. And it will be Hatters ball. Eichmeyer gets it into Fairley. Fairley being picked up here full court by McAlear Fannis. Fairley thought about the 3, swings it round to Dranan, puts it up. That's too strong. It's Anderson that comes up with it. Fairley jumps in for the jump ball and forces the jump ball. It's going to go back with the Mystics. Sorry, the Giants. As Georgia Anderson and Nicolette Fairley share a laugh there. They were playing on the Mystics together a few years ago. Hunter, great pass inside. McAlear Fannis has to get it back out to McDermott, who spins going baseline, working inside to put the ball in the hoop. And a quick foul there on McAlear Fannis. That's her first. As Emma Eichmeyer takes a seat for the Hatters and Naomi Campbell checks in for the first time. Campbell playing in their 7th season for the Sheffield Hatters in the Women's British Basketball League. But her has spent 20 years with the club, coming up through the ranks. Fairly into Washington, underneath the basket. Oh, reverse layup. Anderson round to McDermott. McDermott going all the way. Doesn't get it to drop. Pace tips the rebound. Great hustle there from Maya Pace as McAlear puts up a high arcing three. Doesn't get it to fall. And the ball is out of bounds. Sydney Hunter trying to save it in. But last touch Manchester, so Sheffield will get it back. And Leah McDermott doing a good job on those last couple of possessions, finding a way to get to the basket. She's a guard that likes to go inside. She's talked about it previously. And Gale, all alone under the basket, is blocked by Pace. Pace came out of nowhere to save that one. So Gale with the inbound. Fairley driving, spins, steps through. Oh, tough move from Fairley. That is a travel call. Basket's waved off. Just one step too many. So Hatters with an 8-point lead here in the first half. Hunter to McDermott. McAlear backs it down. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Hunter for three. Can't get that to fall. Pace taps it. It's knocked out. And again, last touch Manchester. But you see there Maya Pace just fighting for the rebound. And the way she taps it, she might not grab the ball, but she taps it. And you're making it difficult for your opponent to get it and hoping to get it into the hands of your teammates. Gale with the crossover. Out to Fairley. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Gale steps back for three. Doesn't get that one to drop. And we've got a foul call. And that's a foul against Georgia Gale for the Hatters. So that's her first. As Desiree Ramos back in for the Hatters. And we've got a timeout called by Manchester. So 5:45 to play here in the first half. Sheffield Hatters with a 27-19 lead over the Manchester Giants. Georgia Gale still leading all scorers with 10 points. And for the Giants, it's Sydney Hunter with 5 points and 2 rebounds. Madison Washington has 6 points, 3 rebounds for the Hatters as well. So Manchester with a bit of work to do here going into half time. You want to try and chip into this Hatters lead here. We'll take it possession by possession. You need to rush shots. There's a lot of time left in this game. But you want to try and take that momentum heading into half time. Get a couple of stops, get some points on the board. So let's see what they can do coming out of this timeout. So it'll be Giants ball. That's Anderson working against Gale. It's over to Hunter. Hunter pass inside, but it's picked off by Harrison. And Sheffield with a chance to increase the lead to double digits here. Harrison working inside. Can't get that to fall. Hunter and Washington fighting for the rebound. It's Hunter that comes away with it. Anderson round to McAlear Fannis. McAlear Fannis finds space. Passes over to the baseline. Gets it back, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Driving, finds some space, and it's Gale again, just in the right place at the right time, getting some pressure on the ball as Harrison at the other end draws the foul from Anderson. That's Anderson's first foul. So Harrison back at the line as Idil Turk checks in for Georgia Anderson. And Shauna Harrison might be a familiar name to fans up here, having played for the Lancashire Spinners in Division 1 a few years ago, and for Myerscough as well in the WBBL. She hits the first free throw. And second is good as well, takes her up to 5 points and increases the lead to 10 for Sheffield. Hunter. Pass it over to Turk. Turk working against Ramos. Back out to McDermott, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Sheffield are doing a good job here of forcing the shot clock to run down as McDermott pulls up and hits. 8-point game. Washington working inside, going against Hunter. And that's an offensive foul call. Good defense there from Hunter. Getting her feet set, standing in the right position. And that's the second foul on Washington. So she's going to take a seat while Eichmeyer comes in. Coach Vanessa Ellis just discussing something with the refs before we get back underway. It's into Turk. Just over 4 minutes to play here in the first half. 8-point Hatters lead. Pace. To McDermott. McDermott, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Again, Sheffield running down the clock here. Great pass into Hunter, who's fouled as she drives inside. Draws the attention of 3 Hatters players right underneath the basket. But what a pass from McDermott as well to get it into Hunter. That is the first foul on Naomi Campbell for the Hatters. Takes both teams to 3 fouls. So it's a fresh 14 for the Giants. It'll be Turk to inbound. Pace, round to Hunter. Turk, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Pace turns for 3 and hits it! Maya Pace knocking down the 3. Eichmeyer looks to answer. That's too short. McAlear Fannis with the rebound. No look over to Turk. Back inside to Hunter, who finishes at the rim. Brooklynn McAlear Fannis putting on a passing clinic today. Harrison out to Gale. Gale swings it round to Ramos. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Ramos with a short pull-up jumper. It's good. And Ramos quieting this Manchester crowd a little bit with that shot. 5-point game. Pace driving baseline, steps through. She's going to get the whistle. That's Campbell's second foul. As Melissa Emmanuel Carr will check in and Campbell will head to the bench. And that's going to put Maya Pace at the line. And Pace out of the University of San Diego, where she led the team in steals per game and was 14th all-time scoring there. Her first season in the UK, making an impact for the Giants. 15.7 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, and a couple of assists as well. She had 18 in the last game against Cardiff. A really tough player. As can't get the friendly roll on the second. Eichmeyer, long pass over to Manuel Carr, just a bit too strong. And that's going to go back with the Giants. Giants going on a nice run here the last couple of minutes. Outscoring Sheffield 11-10 this quarter. They were down 6 heading into it. McDermott over to Turk. McAlear Fannis for 3. Knocks it down! Brooklyn McAlear Fannis doing a bit of everything on the court. She's setting them up, she's knocking them down, she's stealing it away. As Gale driving inside, left-handed layup, drops it in. That takes us to 12. 4-point game. Pace inside, underneath the basket, gets her own rebound and puts it back in. Leads down to 2 for Sheffield. Emmanuel Carr, it's nearly knocked away by Pace. Ramos comes up with it. Gale inside. Eichmeyer working against McDermott. Stops, bounces out, and again into the hands of Hunter. And you see there it was Pace again that just taps the ball into the right position for her teammates. As McAlear Fannis with a short floater, can't get it to go. Hunter's there for the rebound and draws the foul underneath the basket. Giants with a chance to tie the game here. And that is foul number 2 on Emmanuel Carr. As Madison Washington comes back in. Shauna Harrison heading to the bench for Sheffield. And Hunter hits the first. And the second. Tie game at 33. Sydney Hunter has 8 points and 4 rebounds. Chance of defense getting loud in the arena here. Washington over to Ramos, pulls up for 3. And the whistle was before the shot, so shot's no good. There was a foul on the floor. That was on McDermott. It was away from the ball. So it's going to be baseline ball for the Hatters. As Gale gets it into Ramos. Tries the 3 again, that one's short. Eichmeyer with the rebound. Back to Ramos. Round to Gale. Gale looking for the screen. 5 seconds to go. Short jumper from the elbow. Doesn't drop. Eichmeyer just again taps it, and it's Shaw that pulls it away. Saves it for the Giants. Giants with a chance to take the lead here. McAlear Fannis. Short jumper. No good. She chases down her own rebound and puts it back in. And Brooklyn McAlear Fannis has been working hard all game long. Takes it to 7 and 4 rebounds as the Giants go ahead. Gale. Into Washington. Washington with a fake. Drives inside and gets it to drop in. McAlear Fannis with pace driving inside. Has to back it out. Hands it off to Shaw. Back to Pace. Giants can hold for the last shot here. 8 seconds. Pace. Hands it off to Shaw underneath the basket. Ball's loose out of bounds. It is going to be with the Giants. So with 2.1 seconds on the clock, it is going to be Giants ball, and we've got a timeout. So Coach Mark Jones and assistant coach Rhiann Bailey want to talk this over with the team, set up a play for the Giants, put something into motion. So with 2.1 seconds on the shot clock, maybe got a chance for a dribble or 2. Usually 1 dribble, 1 second. But you probably want to look to either set something inside, have a quick pass inside underneath the basket, or try a three off a screen outside. The Giants currently shooting 33% from three, hitting three so far in the game. The inside presence and the inside play of Sydney Hunter is working very well for the Giants. 14 points in the paint compared to Sheffield's 16. So both teams able to finish inside. Sydney Hunter doing a fantastic job working against Madison Washington. So it's going to be Turk with the inbound. We've got 2.1 seconds left. So look for either McDermott or McAlear to come off a screen and maybe shoot the three-point shot, or get it to Shaw and Pace inside. Shaw to McAlear, and that's going to be the end of the quarter. Giants not enough time there to get a shot off. So at the end of the first half, it is Manchester 35, Sheffield 35 in a close, you can't get closer than this game. And it's Georgia Gale leading all scorers with 12 points so far, a couple of rebounds. She's hit 2 from behind the arc. And Madison Washington, 8 points and 3 rebounds for Sheffield. Leading the way for the Manchester Giants is Sydney Hunter on 9 points and 5 rebounds. And Maya Pace has 8 points and 4 rebounds as well. So we are going to take a quick break for half time, and we'll be back with you in around 10 minutes time. Good afternoon, good evening even, and welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We're getting ready for the second half between the Manchester Giants and the Sheffield Hatters. We currently have a tie game here at 35 all. Leading all scorers is Georgia Gale, who has 12 points, hitting 2 from behind the arc. And Madison Washington on 8 points and 3 rebounds for the Hatters. Leading the way for the Giants, it is Sydney Hunter in her second game for Manchester, 9 points and 5 rebounds. And Maya Pace has 8 points, 4 rebounds as well. So as the teams come back out on court, we've got a close one on our hands at the moment. Manchester looking to put an end to the Hatters' 2-game winning streak and move themselves up to 500 in the standings. So starting things off, it will be Hatters ball to get things going in the third quarter.
Georgia Gale to inbound for the Hatters.
Be Georgia Gale on the inbound into Fairley. Fairley round to Dinan. Stops and pulls up for 3. Doesn't get it to drop. McAlear Fannis with the rebound. You see Lauren Thomas-Johnson back in for the Giants. She's got 3 fouls and had to sit for some time in the first half as the ball comes rolling our way. So that is the second foul on Nicolette Fairley. Pace into Anderson. Anderson directing traffic over to Shaw. They're 2 players who've played together for a long time. Hands it off to McAlear. Fannis finds space, runs inside, banks it in off the glass. That's a great move from McAlear Fannis. Eichmeyer to Washington. 2-point Manchester lead. Gale. Washington inside working against Shaw. Turns and fires and hits. Takes Washington to 10 points. Shaw to McAlear Fannis. Again inside, left-handed layup doesn't drop, but she draws the foul. And Brooklynn McAlear Fannis is just finding a way to the basket. She's so quick. Just been able to get ahead of a defender. And there she draws the foul, so she's going to the line. Playing in Germany last season. And previously it was with the Leicester Riders, where she led the team in assists per game and was second in points per game as she knocks down the first. Second one doesn't drop in. That takes her to 10 as well in the game. Fairley. To Dinan. That's him inside to Washington. She's doubled straight away. It leaves Gale open at the top of the arc. And she knocks it down. You can't leave Georgia Gale open, especially from there. We know she can hit the 3. Shooting 43% from the 3-point line so far this season. That's a third of the game and takes her to 15. Anderson looks to answer. That's too strong. It's chased down by Pace. Going baseline. Fairley tries to steal it away, but it's going to be last touch Sheffield. McAlear Fannis will inbound to Anderson against Eichmeyer. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson with a crossover, kicks it back out to Pace for 3 and knocks it down. Maya Pace. One-point lead for the Giants. Pace has 11. Washington hands it to Gale. Gale driving inside, scoop layup, doesn't go. Pace with the rebound. Long pass over to Thomas-Johnson, going against Fairley. Working inside and gets it to fall. Lauren Thomas-Johnson. Such a difficult shot to drop. She had Fairley all over her, draws the contact, finishes the basket and heads to the free throw line. And that is going to be foul number 4 on Nicolette Fairley. So she's going to have to head to the bench as Desiree Ramos checks in for her. And Thomas Johnson making an impact back here as soon as she's back on the court as she completes a 3-point play. She's up to 5 after having to sit in foul trouble in the first half. Ramos around to Eichmeyer. Jernan. Ramos has got space for 3. She's not closed down there. And Pace picks up the rebound. She's got 3-on-1, so she's going to have to stop and wait for the team to catch up as Gale steals it away, going end to end and puts it in. Leads back down to 2 for the Giants. Georgia Gale with 17 points as Anderson, she gets the whistle at the other end and goes to the line. Both teams not backing down at all. And Sydney Hunter coming back in for Manchester. Hannah Shaw heading to the bench. That's Georgia Anderson at the line for 2. First one drops in. Just an absolutely phenomenal player for GB basketball. So well known in the Manchester basketball and across the UK. Just a fantastic player, achieved so much, represented GB. As Janan tries to hit the 3 at the other end, that doesn't go. Eichmeyer and Hunter fighting for the rebound, and it's going to be Manchester ball. Manchester with a 3-point lead here. Anderson to Thomas Johnson. She's got Gale on her. Pace turns and fires the 3. That rims down, and it's McAlear Fannis chasing the rebound down. And that's a foul on McAlear Fannis. On the fall as they were falling to the floor. That's the second. Just the first team foul on the Giants this quarter. Dranan looks to hit the 3, and she does. Ties the game at 45. Anderson. Passing to Hunters. Just a bit of a miscommunication on that one. Leah McDermott coming into the game. Maya Pace heading to the bench, and Pace with 11 points, 7 rebounds. She's been big for the Giants. 45 all here in the third. And that pass, again, miscommunication on the pass on the cutting inside from both teams just on the last 2 possessions. Giants with a chance to go ahead here. Thomas Johnson to McAlear Fannis. Thought about the 3, drives against Ramos. Runs into 2 Hatters players. Anderson's open for 3, puts it up. No good. Chases down her own rebound, but she will just step out of bounds as she does. So Melissa Emmanuel Carr coming back in for the Hatters. Carla Janan taking a seat. .45 all here. We've got 5.5 to play in the third quarter. Washington over to Emmanuel Carr. Emmanuel Carr with space inside, pulls up, knocks it down. Hatters ahead by 2. We've got a back and forth game on our hands. Washington nearly pokes away, but McAlear Fannis comes back with it. 8 seconds on the shot clock. McAlear Fannis trying to lose a defender. Nice pass over to Hunter, whose shot is just short. And it's Emmanuel Carr going to have to back it out and reset as she waits for the team to catch up. Eichmeyer inside. Can't finish at the rim, but she's going to head to the line. As Idil Turk comes in. And Georgia Anderson heading to the bench. Anderson drawing her second foul there that sends Eichmeyer to the line. Emma Eichmeyer, after playing 7 seasons in Germany in Division 1 for Osnabrück, also played for the German national team at the Eurobasket qualifiers. So again, another player with a great wealth of international experience. It's great to see here in the UK as she knocks down the second. 4-point Sheffield lead. Hunter over to Turk. Round to McDermott. McDermott runs into Washington, kicks it back out to Hunter. 1 second on the shot clock. Hunter with a short jumper, gets it to go. Giants down 2. Gale against McDermott. Into Washington. Washington backing down her old teammate Hunter and hits. And that shot of Washington's is so difficult to stop. McAlear-Fannis finds some space, passes out to McDermott, touch pass to Thomas Johnson in the corner for 3, who nails it. Back to a 1-point game. Lauren Thomas-Johnson, there's been a spark this third quarter. Gale driving, comes up against McDermott, hands it off to Emmanuel Carr underneath the basket, can't finish, and it's Hunter with the board. As Turk gets it over to McAlear-Fannis. Over to Turk, step back, thought about the 3. She was pressured, had to pass it off. McAlear-Fannis with the floater, and she gets the whistle. And Brooklynn McAlear-Fannis, she's such a fast player, has such a quick first step. She's able to pass the defender. She's been able to get into the lane throughout the game and just find space. A really impressive player to watch as she hits the first free throw. Takes her up to 11 points, 5 rebounds and a couple of assists. And hits the second as well. Giants back ahead by 1. Washington to Emmanuel Carr. Eichmeyer inside to Washington. Eichmeyer for 3, knocks it down. Thomas Johnson inside, she's doubled. Can't get that to go. Good pressure there from Sheffield. As Eichmeyer swings it round. Good ball movement here from Sheffield as Emmanuel Carr's 3 doesn't go, and it's McAlear-Fannis with the rebound. Hunter, around to McDermott, Turk's there. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Turk using the screen. Turk driving against Gale, kicks it out to McDermott. McDermott for 3, that's short. Thomas Johnson's in there for the rebound, fighting for it. Gets her own offensive board, puts it back in. Lauren Thomas Johnson is working underneath the basket. And an out of bounds pass there. So the Giants will get the ball back, and we are all tied again at 54. Maya Pace checking in. Lauren Thomas Johnson going to the bench. She deserves a rest. Working so hard inside. 10 points for her. As the Giants have a chance to go ahead here. Just under 2 to play in the third quarter. Pace turns and fires the 3. Doesn't get it to go. Dranan. She's got space inside, going against Turk. Count it, and the foul. Dranan under pressure, finishes at the rim, and she's going to head to the line. That is foul number 2 on Ideal Turk. Just the 3rd team foul for the Giants this quarter. Dranan shooting 60%, hits the additional free throw. 3-point Hatters lead. Hunter. Over to McDermott. Working against Harrison. McDermott backs it down. 5 seconds on the shot clock. McDermott finds some daylight, puts it up left-handed and drops it in. Gale. Washington's calling for it inside. Washington triple teamed, passes it off to Emmanuel Carr, can't get it to go. McAlear Fannis comes up with it. Turk all alone on the 3-point line, can't get that one to go. Pace is there fighting for the rebound, goes up and draws the contact. And Maya Pace working on the boards today. She's going to go to the line. Madison Washington heading to the bench as Emma Eichmeyer checks in. Maya Pace will be shooting 2 for the Giants. First rolls down. Second one short, but Hunter's there for the rebound and gets the Giants another chance on offense. Pace against Gale. Pace. And again draws the foul. Maya Pace is going to go back to the free throw line. That's on Gale, and that's her 3rd. So Pace back at the free throw line. A chance for the Giants to go ahead here while they're down 1. First one's good. The crowd's gone very quiet in here. Second one's short. Good to see the support for the Giants. Fans coming to support the team. Dranan's shot doesn't go. Emmanuel Carr's there for the putback, doesn't get it to go. And Pace powering down the court over to Hunter. Hunter on the baseline with the short jumper, doesn't get it to fall. Dranan comes up with it, 10 seconds in the quarter. Gonna set something up. Gale, 3 seconds to go. Gale with a deep 3. No good, and it's Pace with the rebound. So at the end of the 3rd quarter, we are still tied. It is 57-all. We were tied at the half, we're tied in the 3rd. This is an absolutely end-to-end game from both teams. Leading the way for all scorers is Georgia Gale with 17 points in the game. She's got a couple of rebounds. She's knocked down 3 threes. And also for the Sheffield Hatters, Madison Washington, 12 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. And for the Manchester Giants, spreading the scoring around. But it's Brooklyn McAlear Fannis with 12 points, 7 rebounds, and Maya Pace with 12 points and 10 rebounds, getting herself a double-double. Sydney Hunter with 11 and 7. Both teams really evenly matched in today's game. Both hitting 5 from behind the 3-point line. Manchester's 22 points in the paint to Sheffield's 24. Both have 6 points on the fast break. Manchester really capitalising on those second chance points with 11 to Sheffield's 2. Manchester doing a really good job on the boards, because that's something they struggled with a little bit earlier in the season, rebounding wise, but adding Sydney Hunter to this roster and Maya Pace just bouncing out of the gym, grabbing those rebounds. They've been doing a fantastic job in today's game. And that's definitely something they want to keep doing going forward and take that into next weekend's game against Durham. But right now we have one more quarter of basketball to play. It is 57 all as we get things underway for the fourth quarter. And it will be Giants ball to start things off. And Turk with the inbound. Turk into Anderson. Shaw hands it off to Turk. Round to McDermott. Into Pace. Pace has got Dranan all over her, has to kick it back out to Anderson with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Giants need to get something up here. Anderson trying to find some space. Short jumper doesn't go. Good pressure defense there from Sheffield. As Gale comes down the court all the way and lays it in. Takes her to 19 and Sheffield have the lead. Pace, back to Turk. Turk working against Emmanuel Carr with the short shot, and that is a blocking foul on Sheffield as Turk hits the deck. She was high in the air on that one, but she's helped up by her teammates. And that is the third foul on Dranan, and that is going to send Idle Turk to the free throw line. Idle Turk, oh no, I shouldn't say they're shooting 100% from the line so far. She hasn't missed yet this season and still doesn't. And Turk playing her basketball in Hatay, Izmir, Kankaya in Turkey after spending time at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, and making the move over to the UK. Gale controls things for the Hatters, driving all the way off the glass and in. Georgia Gale with back-to-back buckets for Sheffield. Three-point Hatters lead. Pace to Joe Anderson. Into McDermott, driving the lane. And she gets the whistle. Manchester doing a good job here. So Sheffield really clogging the paint, making it difficult for the Giants to get inside. But when they are, Manchester able to draw those fouls. And they've got to the line. And this will be end line with Sheffield on 2 team fouls. Shaw to Turk. Turk's got Emmanuel Carr, round to Pace. Pace. Ball's knocked down, and it's going to stay with Manchester. And you see there the defensive pressure that Sheffield are putting on the ball. We've got 4.4 seconds on the shot clock, so Manchester needs to get something off relatively quickly. Anderson, 2 seconds. And that's an offensive foul call on the Giants. That's on Shaw. That's her second. First team foul for the Giants this quarter. Emmanuel Carr round to Dranan. Nearly has it knocked away by McDermott, but there's a foul called. That's McDermott's second. As Eichmeyer just finds a path underneath the basket and puts it in. Increases the lead to 5. Manchester looking for a score on this possession. Pace against Harrison. Pace, nice pass over to Anderson. Turks all alone on the baseline. shot just spins out and Pace jumps in for the rebound. We've got a jump ball. That is going to go back with Sheffield. That's McAlear, Fannis and Thomas Johnson coming back in. McDermott and Turk headed to the bench. Just under 8 to play here in the fourth quarter. This is the biggest lead we've had since the first half. Manchester coming back from a 10-point deficit earlier in the first to tie the game, and now Sheffield ahead by 5. Emmanuel Carr. Eichmeyer. Over to Gale. Gale using the screen, 6 seconds to go. Gale driving to the hoop and drops it in. Georgia Gale has been able to do that at will all game long. She's got 23 points. Leads back up to 7 here for Sheffield, just pulling away a little bit. McAlear Fannis. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Needs to find some space. 1 second. McAlear Fannis over to Thomas Johnson, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. The pressure from Sheffield forcing the shot clock to run down. Manchester not able to get a shot off there as Hannah Short heads to the bench and Sydney Hunter comes back in. Just under 7 to play here in the fourth. For Manchester, you want to try and get a stop here. You don't want to let this lead extend too far. Drunan over to Ramos. 5 seconds. Short jumper doesn't go. Hunter's there for the rebound. Anderson round to McAlear Fannis. McAlear Fannis has to back it out. Trying to look inside. Passes into Hunter. With 6 seconds on the clock. Hunter turns and spins. Gets it to roll in. That's a tough move from Sydney Hunter. Cuts the lead to 5. Ramos, Sheffield looking to answer here. Ramos swings it round. Drunan loses it, and it's picked up by McAlear Fannis. Outrunning Sheffield, and she draws the foul. McAlear Fannis playing with absolute speed. You see the pace of her just outrunning her defender. Gets to the hoop, and is going to get a chance for the 3-point play, and that is Drunan's 4th foul for Sheffield. McAlear Fannis hits it, brings the Giants back within 2. She is doing a bit of everything in this game. Harrison. Drunan swings it round to Eichmeyer. Eichmeyer inside, just off the front of the rim, and Hunter jumping up for the rebound. McAlear Fannis' pass is picked off by Harrison. Harrison being chased down by Hunter. She's going to go all the way off the front of the rim, and Hunter putting the pressure on enough to disrupt the shot. Ball is out of bounds, so it's going to stay with Sheffield, but great defense there from Sydney Hunter. As we have a timeout called by the Giants, Coach Mark Jones wants to talk things over. So we have for the Sheffield Hatters, Carla Drunan and Nicolette Fairley both on 4 fouls each. Manchester with Lauren Thomas-Johnson on 3, but no one else coming close to that. So with Sheffield up 2 here, and Georgia Gale on absolute fire for the Hatters with 23 points in the game so far. She's leading all scorers. So the Giants will be back at home on December the 2nd at 2 o'clock at the Platt Lane Sports Complex. They'll be playing the Oakland's Wolves. Make sure to get down and support the team if you can. And the Sheffield Hatters, their new home, the Cannon Medical Arena. Next Sunday, the 26th, will be hosting the Newcastle Eagles.
British Basketball League Championship action, 2.4 game in favour of the Hatters.
Teams coming back on court.
Manchester.
This has been a close one today. Manchester were down 10 points earlier on in the game. Came back to take the lead, and Sheffield fought back though. We've been tied, I don't know how many times here, but Sheffield are up 2 with just over 5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. So it's Giants ball. And they've got a chance to tie or take the lead here. Anderson to Thomas Johnson. Against Harrison. To McAlear Fannes again. She's so fast. Gets underneath the basket. Sydney Hunter grabs the rebound. Manages to get a shot up, but it doesn't go, and it's Washington that's called for the foul. Sydney Hunter looked like she was just hanging in the air trying to put that one back in. So that's the third foul on Washington. And Hunter's at the line for 2, so there's a chance to tie here for the Giants. Sydney Hunter with 13 points, 9 rebounds so far in today's game. Hits the first one. And that last rebound, actually, that gave her 10 on the putback. So a double-double for Sydney Hunter, which, if you've seen her play before, that is not a surprise. She's a double-double machine. She can't get the second to drop. It's a 1-point Hatters lead. Manchester are not going away. Eichmeyer over to Washington. Ramos. Looking inside to Washington. She's got Hunter on her. Washington turns and hangs. Doesn't get it to drop. Another big rebound for Hunter. Anderson into Hunter, underneath the basket. She's doubled out to McAlear Fannes. 5 seconds on the shot clock. She hangs it in the air and drops it in. And Manchester go up by 1. Brooklynn McAlear Fannes just making all the difficult shots in today's game. Eichmeyer driving the lane all the way to the basket, puts it in. And Sheffield are back up by 1. Long pass over, it's intercepted by Ramos. Pace picks it up with the short jumper, banks it in and draws the foul. Maya Pace, oh my goodness. We're going back to the line. And that is the 4th on Washington with 4 minutes to play in the 4th. Pace with a chance to tie. Sorry, Giants up 1. Pace with a chance to increase the lead here. And she does, she hits. 2-point Giants lead, 69-67 here in the 4th quarter. This is relentless. Washington to Harrison. Ramos turns and fires the 3, that spins out. It's chased down by Thomas Johnson. Giant round to McAlear Fannes on the baseline. Stops, swings it round. Anderson for 3. That's short off the front of the rim. Pace gets it over to Hunter. Pace and Hunter on the board has been a problem for Sheffield today. 6 seconds on the shot clock. McAlear Fannes over to Anderson. Anderson has to put something up, and she's fouled as she does. So Georgia Anderson headed to the line with 1.3 seconds on the shot clock, and she's fouled on the 3. And we'll have a timeout. Nope, sorry, timeout was announced, but it was a sub. Harrison heading to the bench, and Georgia Gale back in for the Hatters. So Anderson shooting 3 here. Hits the first one. Anderson, one of the few players to hit 2,000 points in the Women's British Basketball League. Did that in her last season before taking a year away. As she goes 2 of 3 from the line and puts the Giants up 4. That's their biggest lead this half. 71-67. Ramos to Washington. Ramos gets it back. And an offensive foul is called on the Hatters. Oh, no, apologies. That's just a regular foul. That's a foul on the Giants. That's on Hunter. That's just her first. So it is end line ball. Sheffield. Gale with the inbound to Ramos. Junan to Eichmeyer. Junan with a deep 3. Doesn't drop. Manchester with a chance to increase the lead here. Anderson to Hunter. Round to Pace. Anderson gets it back. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson with behind the back, swings it round to Hunter. Hunter puts up the 3. It's short. Junan into Washington. She's backing down Hunter. Washington gets it to go, and Washington inside has been able to do that all game. She's so tough to go up against. Cuts the lead to 2. Pace looking for some space, working against Eichmeyer. Pass down. Good ball movement here as McAlear fan, as someone gets a hand on it. Pace underneath the basket, fighting for the rebound with Hunter. Can't keep her hands on it, and it's last touch Manchester, so it's going to go with the Hatters. We've just had a bit of a hard fall for Sheffield as Eichmeyer's helped up by her teammates. See everyone just fighting for the rebound on that last possession. Everyone up in the air. So a 2-point Manchester lead here. We've got 1:49 to play here in the 4th quarter. Georgia Gale has had the hot hand for Sheffield. She's got 23 points. She's on the court right now. You've got to think Sheffield got to be looking to her, and Washington, as it's knocked out of bounds by Pace. So Hatters ball with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Pace doing a good job there, getting her hands on the ball. As Gale looks to get it in, does to Eichmeyer. Hands it off to Ramos. Ramos working against McAlear Fannis. Goes inside. And they hit the floor, but it'll be a foul against McAlear Fannis. That's her 3rd, and that is going to send Sheffield to the line. Oh, sorry, it's not. That's the 4th foul on Manchester. Apologies. Washington into Eichmeyer. Nearly loses it, but keeps control. And it's knocked out, but it's last touch Manchester. So Eichmeyer again, saving that one. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Gale into Ramos. Ramos with the long 2, hits it. We're tied at 71. 1:18 to play. Anderson into Hunter. Hands it off to McAlear Fannis. McAlear Fannis driving, scoops it in and puts it in the basket. Giants back ahead by 2. We've got a minute here left. Junan to Eichmeyer, looking inside. Oh, nice move to the basket. Can't finish underneath the rim. Ball's knocked out, and Pace putting the pressure on there. That was a good look from Eichmeyer. just unable to finish. And Manchester with a 2-point lead here. As Gale looks to inbound. Passes over to Drenan. She's got Thomas Johnson on her. 8 seconds to go. Drenan. Pass into Eichmeyer. And she draws the foul against Sydney Hunter. Oh, that was on Anderson. That was on Anderson. So looked like it was away from the ball. But that's the third on Anderson. And that is going to send Sheffield to the line, as that's the 5th team foul. So it'll be Emma Eichmeyer at the line. Shooting 100% so far this season, has not missed from the line. And does on that one. I'll take the responsibility for that. That's the commentator's curse. She's got 13 points so far and can't get the second one to drop. Giants up 2 with time on their side here. 20-second difference between the shot and game clock. Anderson to Hunter. Hunter directing traffic into McAlear Fannis. 7 seconds on the shot clock. 4 seconds to go. McAlear Fannis needs to put something up. Driving, runs into 2 Sheffield players. Shot doesn't go off the front of the rim, and the offensive board goes to Manchester, so they can run down the clock here. Sheffield not looking to foul, and they're down 2 as Anderson weaves inside and does eventually draw the foul. It forces Sheffield to foul and leaves 9.2 seconds on the shot clock. Shot and game clock. So that's foul number 4 on Georgia Gale, and it sends Georgia Anderson to the line with a chance to make this a 2-possession game. First shot is good. 3-point lead for the Giants. If Anderson can hit this next one, it's going to be a 2-possession game. And that's going to be an uphill battle for Sheffield. Second bounces out. 8 seconds to go. And that's a foul on Hunter. And that's going to put Sheffield at the line. We've got 8.3 seconds. And there will be a timeout called as the teams want to talk things over. Oh my goodness, what a last minute or so. So that last foul was on Sydney Hunter, and that is going to put, I believe it was Eichmeyer, so she will be headed back to the free throw line. It's a 3-point game. So if Eichmeyer hits both, you've got 8.3 seconds on the shot clock. You can foul the Giants when they inbound to stop the clock, send them to the line, and keep it within a 1-possession game where you've got the chance there. If it's within 3, so long as you leave yourself time to take a shot and make a 3, that's what you want to try and look to do. Or you can, whether it's too early to try and make the first and have the second bounce out, catch it, put the rebound back in, there's sort of no need for that at the moment. 8.3 seconds is still a very long time in basketball. With the Giants up 3 here in the 4th quarter, 74-71. And it will be Sheffield at the line, back out on court. Manchester looking to put an end to the Hatters' 2-game winning streak. Move themselves into 2-2 in the standings. So it will be Emma Eichmeyer at the line. A chance to cut into this. 2 big free throws here to come. Eichmeyer's first bounces out. So if Eichmeyer hits the second one here, you've got time on your side as the Giants. As she hits it, cuts it to a 2-point game as Coach Mark Jones wants a timeout for the Giants. So 74 to the Giants, 72 to Sheffield, and it will be Manchester ball when we are back on court. 8.3 seconds to go. So if you're Sheffield here, you want to try, you need to put pressure on the inbound as much as you can. Try and force the inbound violation. After that, if you're not going to get a steal straight away, you want to foul, send the Giants to the free throw line and hope they go 1 of 2, because then that gives you a chance to knock down a 3, tie the game and send it to overtime. That's the risk you take, sending them to the free throw line, because it could increase the lead up to 4. A 2-possession game which might just be out of reach with only 8.3 seconds to go. And for the Hatters, it has been Georgia Gale all game long with the hot hand. 23 points from her. You've got to think the Hatters are going to look to her to get the ball in her hands if they can stop the clock and get another look.
2-point ball in, 8.3 seconds remain.
So as the teams come back out on court, it will be Giants ball. The crowd getting loud in here, lots of support for the Giants. Looking to get their 2nd win of the season.
Giants advance the ball into the Hatters half of the court.
So it'll be Giants ball. And look for Sheffield here to foul quickly if they don't get something off the inbound. So there, Washington with the high advantage there over McAlear. Fannis will be inbounding. McAlear Fannis looking to get it in. Gets it to Thomas Johnson, who's immediately fouled. And that's on Drenan. That's going to be her 5th, so she's going to have to head to the bench. She's out of the game. And that will put Thomas Johnson at the line with 7.5 seconds to go. So Thomas Johnson here looking to put this to a 2-possession game by knocking down both free throws. Thomas Johnson shooting just under 77% from the line so far this season. She's got 10 points in today's game. Had to sit with that foul trouble in the first quarter as the first shot rolls in and the Giants are up 3. A big free throw to come here. Thomas Johnson looking to put the Giants almost out of reach. And it rolls out, so Sheffield have a chance to tie here. 4 seconds, it's in the hands of Gale. Georgia Gale steps back 3, it's blocked, knocked out of bounds. And that's a huge block from the Manchester Giants. I think it was Maya Pace that got a hand on that one, as we'll have a timeout. Coach Vanessa Ellis is going to draw something up for the Hatters here, and with 0.7 seconds on the clock, it's got to be a catch and shoot for the Hatters. And you would think it's got to be in the hands of Georgia Gale. We've seen what she can do from 3-point range. We know she can hit down shots under pressure. Such a sharp shooter. And if we know that, you've got to think the Giants are going to close her down as soon as the ball comes in. But you've got to be careful not to foul. You don't want to send whoever's shooting the 3 to the free throw line. You don't want to give them a chance to tie the game at the line. You want to force them to take a shot, force them into a difficult shot. And if they make a difficult shot, well, we've got overtime. But you don't want to give them the easy shots at the free throw line.
7 seconds remains on the game clock. 3-point ball game in favour of the Giants.
Now with Gale, Drenan and Eichmeyer, the only Hatters to have hit a 3 in the game so far, and with Drenan on the bench, you've got to think if Gale can't get free, it's got to be Eichmeyer that will get a look. But Manchester here just need to play some sensible defence. Nothing drastic needs to happen. It's a catch and shoot. 0.7 seconds, it's tough to get it off, but it can be done. Let's look to see Gale or Eichmeyer run around the arc here to get the inbound. So it's going to be Ramos. Ramos looks to get it in. Does to Eichmeyer. She's going to have to put something up and doesn't get it to go. And at the end of the game, Manchester come away with a 3-point win over the Sheffield Hatters. A close fought, absolute battle between the two teams. An absolute end-to-end thriller of a game. congratulations to the Manchester Giants, 75-72 over the Sheffield Hatters, and a huge achievement for them, keeping the Hatters under their 97 point per game average that they've had the last 2 games. Real credit to them. And for the Hatters, tough to have players in a bit of foul trouble. An absolutely phenomenal performance from Georgia Gale, 23 points in the game. The ball was in her hands near the end, and that is the player that you'd want to be looking for that shot after that big block by Pace. So Gale finishing with 23 points, 3 rebounds, and assists, hitting 3 from behind the arc. And Emma Eichmeyer, 14 points, 7 rebounds. And Madison Washington, 14 points and 6 rebounds. But for the Manchester Giants, it was Brooklyn McAlear, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. And Maya Pace, 15 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals, that huge block at the end. And Sydney Hunter with 14 points and 13 rebounds. And you can see the Manchester team over there celebrating. They refranchised this season and they surpassed the win total that the Manchester Mystics had last year. Coach Mark Jones celebrating with the players over there. So congratulations to them. You can catch their next home game against Oakland on December the 2nd at 2 o'clock at Platt Lane Sports Complex. Make sure to get down and support the team in person if you can. And for Sheffield, check them out next Sunday at their new home at the Cannon Medical Arena against the Newcastle Eagles. But the final score from Manchester, the Manchester Giants 75, the Sheffield Hatters 72. We'll see you next time.